Hey guys, I'm Combat Craig and I'm going to give you 3 secondary VA claims that could increase your VA rating. A secondary claim means that you can connect these claims to something that you're already service connected for. You already have a 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, or 90% rating. Connect a secondary onto one of those, increase your VA rating, get paid. A high value secondary VA claim means an average rating increase of 30% or higher. If we're going to spend 6 months to a year, waiting on the VA to give us a C&P exam and process our claim, we might as well make it worth our while and get paid for our time. When we are searching for high value secondary claims to file, we want to spread them out to different body systems so we avoid pyramiding issues. We could do this by going to the Disability Benefits Questionnaire page on the VA website, and we'll pick from their own list. These are all rateable conditions, and all you need to win is a diagnosis, symptoms, and a nexus. If you need a doctor to write the nexus for you, you could use this email address right here, and in the subject line, you could say, I need medical evidence for my VA claim. All right, let's hop into it, and we will start with VA ratings for Meniere syndrome. I was just talking about this with one of my boot campers today. Are you in my boot camp yet? If not, sign up. Links in the description. The VA rates Meniere syndrome as an ear condition under 38 CFR 4.87. The VA Schedule of Rating Disabilities, Diagnostic Code 6205. VA ratings for Meniere syndrome are 30%, 60%, and 100%. So at the low end, that starts off at that 30% that we're going after here. So 30, 60, or 100. The ratings are determined by how often symptoms occur. This is like most VA claims and disabilities. Hearing impairment with attacks of vertigo and cerebral gait occurring more than once weekly with or without tinnitus rates at 100%. Hearing impairment with attacks of vertigo and cerebral gait occurring from 1 to 4 times a month with or without tinnitus rates at 60%. Hearing impairment with vertigo less than once a month with or without tinnitus rates at 30%. So there's the breakdown of those ratings. Moving on to VA ratings for peripheral neuropathy. Peripheral neuropathy occurs when the peripheral nerve is damaged, causing pain, numbness, and weakness. It typically occurs in the hands and feet. Those who have this condition usually characterize their symptoms as pain, burning, tingling, stabbing, could be numbness, weakness, things of this nature. I actually have this one in my right hand. Now with this one, the VA doesn't have a specific diagnostic code for peripheral neuropathy, but don't let that slow you down. Look at the DBQ list here, and here's all the information you need to get rated for it. When the VA doesn't have a diagnostic code, they rate it analogously. So they did this to me for my chronic fatigue syndrome. I presented with symptoms, and then they didn't have a rating for it anymore because it was chronic pain syndrome. So they gave me a rating for chronic fatigue syndrome. Typically, lower extremity peripheral neuropathy is rated analogous to paralysis of the sciatic nerve under diagnostic code 8520. The ratings under diagnostic code 8520 range from 80 to 10%. So sciatic nerve is one that we can go after here, and that's 8520. An 80% rating. Complete paralysis, meaning the foot dangles or drops, no active movement possible of the muscles below the knee, flexion of the knee weakened or lost. 60% rating. Incomplete paralysis, severe with marked muscular atrophy. 40%. Incomplete paralysis, moderately severe. 20% incomplete paralysis, moderate. 10% incomplete paralysis, mild. These things go, all of the VA ratings go severe, moderate, mild. They'll be severe And then sometimes they'll be moderate severe, like in this case, and then moderate and then mild. So if your symptoms are moderate or moderate severe, it's going to make a big difference because we're talking a 30% rating, 40% rating instead of a 10% rating in most cases. Ratings are usually determined through a compensation and pension exam, a C&P exam. So you want to download this DBQ and make sure you understand it and you understand what the doctor's going to be looking for so you know the answers to the test, right? That strategy, that's my boot camp. That's what I talk about. I preach it and I teach it. You need a doctor that can help you with a Nexus letter. Check out my med team. Here's an email address. Hit them up. Tell them you need a Nexus. VA disability ratings for skin conditions. Many rateable skin conditions are rated based on the amount of skin that's affected. The rating schedule offers two ways to determine how much skin is effective: calculations and estimations. Skin area calculations measure the affected surface area in inches squared. Skin area estimations instead account for the percentage of skin that is affected. So a couple different ways that they're going to note skin conditions. The VA rates skin conditions under 38 CFR 4.118 under diagnostic codes 7800 through 7833. So there's a lot of them. The general rating formula for the skin assigns ratings to most skin conditions as follows. We'll start off with 60%. At least one of the following is true: characteristic lesions involving more than 40% of the entire body, or more than 40% of exposed areas affected. A 30% rating for skin conditions. At least one of the following: characteristic lesions involving 20 to 40% of the entire body, or 20 to 40% of exposed areas affected. A 10% rating for skin condition. At least one of the following: characteristic lesions involving at least 5%, but less than 20%, of the entire body affected, or at least 5%, but less than 20% of exposed areas affected. A 0% rating is no more than topical therapy required over the past 12 months. So if you go in and you don't have any complaints over the last 12 months, that may be why you got a 0% rating when you deserve something much higher. It's all about consistency, continuity of symptomatology. You have to keep going to the doctor. If you don't like VA doctors, like I do, find another doctor outside of the VA. You have to keep going to doctors, and you need current medical records when you file your claim. And when they go take a look at you to reduce you, if you have records there supporting that you have a disability, you'll be in good shape. I want to go ahead and run down the Public Disability Benefits Questionnaire page for you. You could download these. They're public use DBQs. And you scroll down and you want to go into as many different categories as possible: cardiovascular, dermatological, ENT, gastro, infectious diseases, musculoskeletal, neurological, respiratory, psychological. The purpose of this is to avoid pyramiding. The more categories you go into, the higher your rating's going to go without running into pyramiding issues. So I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you in the next one.